Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
How was your night? I hope you slept well.
Yeah, I did. How are you?
Very well. Yes, I'm good. We start right about on the 10 on the dot. We just want to ensure that things are looking good.
All
First
right.
of all, we'd like to thank you for coming on time. We're really very grateful. And to many
Mhm.
of our viewers all over the world participating via this platform, Easy Dial, courtesy of CW Communications. Um, This is GreaterWorks series, and this is installment 4. Last week, we actually talked about trailblazing new frontiers. The focus of the discussion was inclusion, because our panelists talk extensively of inclusion. And so, having said that, our guest this week is Mr. Peter Ihesie. Let me just rush through his profile briefly. Mr. Peter Ihesie is a graduate of mathematics and computer science from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. He's a Microsoft certified developer with over 15 years of core software development experience, spanning FMCGs, business operations, government, religious and security market. He's the founder of Church Plus, a cloud and mobile-based management automation solution for churches. Church Plus aims to improve the overall management efficiency of churches, help improve membership engagement, and first-timer retention. And so, Mr. Ihesie, you're welcome to GreaterWorks series.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
for a couple of people who are joining us on the EasyDial platform from all over the world, because I understand there's a man from Los Angeles, so we're just one. This is GreaterWorks, and GreaterWorks basically is a platform for Christian strategic thinkers and thought leaders to share their thought about how the church can be driving change across the spheres of influence in nations of the earth. And so, like Jesus said, occupy till I come. And so, our responsibility will begin to bring to the fore what the church should be doing. And so, our topic of discussion today is church without walls. And that's very clear that we're coming to the place where the church is not so much. Jesus said, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. He's not talking about physical church, he's talking about a group of people who believe and ascribe to the Lordship of Jesus Christ and who believe they can change the world. And so, and he said, so our focus is digital solutions for optimizing audience engagement. Mr. Ihesie, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So with that background, I'd just like to begin to ask you. I'll try and be like a refreshing of what we did last week when we talked about trailblazing new frontiers, the emergence of the cyber church in Nigeria. And our guest, what we had last week, he talked around inclusion. Now, having talked about inclusion, now we're moving like engagement. Having said that, I want you to just tell us, how do you think we can actually improve, because we're saying inclusion, engagement, we're just like using two words to describe the same thing. So how can we really improve engagement of members, particularly those who are coming online?
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. There's a shift in church attendance. There's a shift in engagement for churches. And a lot of churches should start looking at how to leverage technology. Technology enables us in a lot of ways. One, it's convenient for a lot of people to use. It's easy for a lot of people to use. So the question is this, like you asked, how can churches use these platforms that we have to begin to engage people? So, first of all, what we need to do is to form communities. It's important for us to have, as we have local communities, it's also good for us to have online communities. So, for a church, first of all, do we have an online community that we can engage? So, if you do not have an online community, it's important for you to build an online community. So, you can build online community using social media, for instance, Facebook. You can build your page likes, and you can have groups and all of that. So WhatsApp, you can have a bit of WhatsApp groups, you can have your Telegram groups. So building online community is important. It's when you have people to engage with that you can start engaging with them. But if you don't have people to engage with, how do you not engage with them? So once we have communities online, we need to also have activities that we need to discuss online. For instance, when you have services that you run, you want people to be able to attend services online. So how do you get them to come? You get them by communicating to them that you have services online you want to run. But services is just one. Having Sunday service or midweek service is just one of the things that you can do. How do we take these conversations that we have online? How do we have family conversations? How do we have financial conversations? How do we have career conversations online? So things that will interest the people that you normally engage offline. Let's take those things online and begin to have those conversations online. But like I said, having a community to engage is important and encouraging people to be part of your community. Those are things. And once we start from there, it becomes easy for us to do a lot more things.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'd like to follow up on that. How can you walk us through how we can actually build an online community?
Okay, so I will start from the low hanging fruit. Then we now go up to the other complex ones. So the thing is this: when we talk about online, what are we really looking at? What platforms are available there for us to engage with? And I will mention the very popular platforms to engage with. So most of them start from social media. One, Facebook. Facebook is important. Facebook has the highest number of people in a particular social media network. So for a church, what you need to do is that you need to have a church page. That is extremely important. If you don't have a church page, it's important for you to have a church page. So, and it's something you can easily create. Just go to Facebook, go to the account of the pastor or the account of the church and create a page of it. So once you create that page, what you need to do is to invite people to like that page and follow that page. Invite people. So you can invite your members of the church, or you can ask people that you have their contact to invite others. So that's very important. Once you have that, another thing you can have, depending on how you want to run the church, is to have closed groups. You can have closed groups. For instance, you can have men group, women group, all these groups that you can create closed groups for them that you have to be invited to join. So you have that. That's a bit for Facebook. Then WhatsApp, which is WhatsApp, almost everybody, we all use WhatsApp. Most people use WhatsApp. So it's important to have WhatsApp groups for the church. It's difficult that WhatsApp does not allow, I think, more than 200. So I'm also leveraging Telegram for that. So having a bit of chat groups, very important as well. We've also seen churches venture into Instagram to have Instagram pages and get people to like their Instagram pages and follow them. Now, these are things we can do without actually spending 1 naira. We can do it all for free. I've also seen people use YouTube as well. Once you create all these platforms, the next thing you need to do is to start inviting people, start promoting it, invite people. And if you have a member, one member, you can encourage the member to invite his or her friends. So it's a network effect. The more we invite people, the more we grow our platforms, right? So we've seen churches that have, or pastors that have over 1 million page likes on their on Facebook. So it's easier now when you have all these people liking you to engage them. So when you go live, Facebook and YouTube most times updates people that this page has gone live. So that's people come back and engage with those content. So platform invitation. So once we have invited them, what next do we need to do? We need to now start giving our content. And the bedrock of engagement on social media is consistency and authenticity. So now that you have people now in your group or like your page, you come today, you don't come tomorrow, you come tomorrow, you don't come next tomorrow. most of them will not take you serious. They will say you're not active here, so they probably go to where people like our pastors, other churches are active, or other even organizations are active. So you need to have a plan. So you can say our plan, our weekly plan for engagement is maybe Monday morning we'll have 10 minutes morning prayer. Tuesday we can have another 15 minutes family conversation. Thursday we can have business career, 10-15 minutes conversation. Friday, so you can have all that and let your people understand that this is the time for this event, this is the time for this event, this is the time for this event. So they are used to it, right? That, oh, okay, Monday mornings we have this. We've also seen churches do this, which I kind of encourage churches to do. You can engage now, and most people are home and come back home on time. You can say we do 10 minutes every day to just do Bible study. And you turn on your phone, you go live, and you can do Bible study, and people can ask questions, you can answer, just 10 minutes. So if I know, okay, there's Bible study 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes in the evening, I can quickly just plug in and we do Bible study together. 10 minutes we are done. Then I can go back and continue doing what I'm doing. So content is very important. Having content that you can give to them. Then consistency and authenticity. So we've also seen people just copy other people's content and post. You just post, and there is no thought process behind what you're giving out. So I look at it. I've seen this thing somewhere. This is an original material. So if I know that you're not giving me original material, that I can always get this material somewhere else, I probably just go to where I'll get original material. So yes, it's good you give us content. It's also good you give us original content, which is your content. So if it's you preaching, or if it's what you've done before, if it's your creative designs, you also need to have something that's original and unique to you. Then the way the web is, I can go from watching a comedy skit to listening to the word of God, then going back to watch football match that they played before. So it's see how it is. Now, if I see comedy skits, for instance, and it's well put together, the quality of the work is well done, the thought process is well done, and I watch football match that they played before and it's well done, and I come to watch content from the church and it's looking all haphazard, I will feel it. So it's also good for us to produce quality content, and even the background and everything that we're going to do to ensure that it looks very, very good. And again, we dish out the word that God has given us. So if we implement some of these things, we should be able to engage more online.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me also follow up with another question, which is also similar. It's about first-timers retention. Now, I was going through some research, and they said, first of all, the way the church is being run is different. Prior to now, what the church has done is to assume that attendance drives engagement. But these days, especially in the day of the internet and the social media, engagement actually drives attendance. How can we flip the coin? Because the truth of the matter is, currently, even within my church, I still see us do a lot of using attendance to think. But then we just let them bring let them come in first of all. Then we will be engaging them. How do you think we can flip the coin here?
Okay, so there's a shift in what we term engagement. So I'll go from the first timer, then talk about engagement as a whole. If you follow what's happening on the internet, you realize that the people that we originally think are engaging because of attendance of their physical church, they are not the ones that are really engaging when it comes to internet, right? So you see somebody that maybe in his church they have about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. When they put out content, maybe you see 20 comments, you see. Then another pastor that probably 500, he puts out content, you see about 1 million views, you see about 200,000. comments. You see people sharing it because it is no longer attendance. It is now about the quality of what you are giving out, right? The quality of what you are giving out. And I believe that every pastor is called onto a ministry. So your ministry might be ministry of marriage and love. While others might be healing, others might be teaching of the word, others might be prophetic. So this is a time for us to stay more on that thing we are called. So you see somebody teaching about, for instance, wealth, and if I want to learn about wealth, I will go and consume his content. I will comment about that content. We will start a conversation. If I want to listen to somebody talk about love, it's not the same preacher that I'll be interested in getting his content online. I'll probably there's this preacher that is a love teacher. I'll go and look for his content, right? So that is how engagement is going to be online now. So when you're a general preacher, which is very good as well, but we're saying that as a general preacher, there is something you're called upon. That is what most people want to engage you upon. That's one. Then when it comes to first timers, and I look at this very seriously. Most times when we engage we engage first timers on a very high level. Somebody comes to your church for the first time or submits data as a first timer online. We just say, hey, please come to church. I will want to invite you to church. Please come to church. That is where our engagement stops, right? And if there's a pushback from him to say, I mean, I just came. I didn't really. For me, I don't want to join your church. I just came to, experience your church. Now, how do we take that experience and ensure that we engage him further, not just come to church? So we're saying you're in church and you gave us your data. You told us about, your employment status. You told us about your marital status. And you gave us your date of birth and all of that. How can the church take this data and begin to build intelligent follow-up and engagement on that? For instance, if I am newly married, or let's say let's even say I'm out of school, I'm unemployed. Let me use that. I'm unemployed. And I wrote in your first timer card, unemployed. I put my, sometimes I give you my date of birth. The kind of content that will engage me is something that affects me. If we open up that conversation to say, thank you for worshiping with us. We saw from your card that you're unemployed. How is this job search going on? Like, what are you doing? How are you managing? And you see that it is no longer come to church. It is now, okay, wow, this would really care about my employment status. Okay. And the person opens up and begins to talk to you about it. So does the church have a follow-up program for unemployed people to say, okay, you're unemployed, but we need to take it from there. We might not provide you all the jobs that you need, but we can provide you the fundamentals to prepare you for job. Because we know that there are certain attributes that you need to have for you to do well when you go for interviews. These are even principles that the Bible teaches. So we take these principles from the Bible, the principle of hard work, the principle of tenacity, the principle of perseverance, and we begin to tie these things around the job hunt. So that by the time the person goes to look for this job, he's already prepared from the engagement from your ministry, right? And the truth is that we have systems that can automate some of these processes to say, okay, this person is unemployed and is this age bracket, put him in this email drip or put him in this SMS drip, so that the system will keep sending him messages around the information he has given you while you're preaching the word of God to him, while you're inviting him to church. So it is more inclusive engagement for the people that come to our ministries. Then when we take these things online, it's also important when we push out content. I mean, I've seen churches in the ministries push out content and they just go away. Now, the way it was working for a lot of us is that we the preacher preaches the message, and we now take it, and service is over. But that's not how it works on the web. People want to interact. So when you teach and somebody says, "Well, I read the Bible and I didn't really get it like this," it is not for us to start fighting. Somebody says, "I didn't really get it like this." It is for you to now, it's an opportunity for you to teach more and explain more. And say, okay, this is your understanding. Then this is my understanding. This is that. This from this reference. This is so you begin to show more. And most of the people that we see engagement from them, they interact with followers, likes. They interact with people on the internet. So churches should now understand that it's no longer one way, it is now a two-way system that we're on. So ability to interact and engage with people online.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I can, if I hear you say that we're actually going toward like the theme of our discourse, church without walls. In other words, the church leaders must begin to see themselves as not just being the leader or the pastor of a brick and wall church. However, they should be seeing themselves probably a global, the leader of a global church. But I'd like to ask one question, sir. In a lot of churches, I call it like a divide. Some churches do not have this kind of resources. Some of them, for example, during this COVID-19, have not even held services. That's about 2 months. And I can tell you, one of the things I found out is being around a spiritual community helps spiritual development of any person. But now that the COVID-19 pandemic, many of them have not held services. How do you think we can use technology to bridge this gap?
Okay. Thank you very much. So I would say this thing from study that we've done and conversations that we've had with pastors. So this is from data that we've captured talking with pastors. The major problem that churches are having with this COVID-19 in terms of leveraging internet is a knowledge problem. Is a knowledge, it is not a cost problem, you know. We feel that it's a cost problem, it's expensive, that we're not getting it, that how do we go online and all of that? We don't have the cameras and all of that. It is not an infrastructure problem, rather, it is a knowledge problem. Because a lot of pastors before COVID-19 did not um, invest in understanding the processes of leveraging the internet. Some of us, or some pastors, even fought the use of internet, right, in preaching and all of that. So when it happened, it was difficult for some because they didn't know what to do next. To go online today, most pastors, as we know them, have what it takes to go online. As God will have it, Facebook and YouTube, a couple of years ago, democratized live stream. Before, it was expensive to do it. You had to pay a couple of dollars to live stream. But Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram made it free, right? Made it free, totally free for everybody, right? All you need, you don't even need a camera. All you need is a smartphone. And I know churches, I know a couple of preachers that I've worked with. And in fact, one traveled to, somebody paid before the COVID-19, somebody paid for his trip to come to Dubai. And the person just met him online and he was using his phone to just preach. And the person met him online and connected to his ministry and sent him an invite to come to Dubai, and they connected. And he was just sharing the testimony with me. So it takes you a smartphone and the affordable data that you have. to just switch life, put your phone, and you start preaching. But most of us, or most churches, do not have that knowledge base, and that's a challenge. So what it takes you to go live and start preaching is a smartphone and internet connection. And I can tell you, any smartphone that has camera, there are smartphones. I mean, most people have smartphones, some don't have. Smartphones, 12,000, 15,000, you can buy a smartphone. To get data, 300 naira, you can get 1 gig from some of these of the telcos. 1 gig, 300 naira, you can run your entire message. You can run your entire service comfortably. So you see, now if you have a smart device already, it's just 300 or maximum 500 naira. You can go live. So how do we now begin to share this knowledge? That is what most of us that are in the church technology space are doing. Sharing this knowledge, telling them, look, you can do it. You can do it. It's not that expensive. You don't need all the cameras that are millions of naira. You can go live with what you have. So that's that. And we also have what we've done personally to just have an online seminar where we teach them, okay, this is how to use it. Because some of them say, look, I don't even know how to press the phone and go live. It's okay, no problem. These are materials you need to read, attend our seminars and all of that. We show you press this, and you go live. When you go live, there are tools for you to even now get the offering. Right? If you go live and say, okay, how do we contribute to the ministry? You can share your account details with them. Then we also have an online donation solution that we can share with you. People can just click and donate to you. So these things are, and the interesting thing that the online donation that we have is also free. So there's a lot of free resources online that you can use. Mixler, I don't know if they pay for that. Mixler is, I think, is free as well. So a lot of free resources already exist for the church to use and go online. So the thing is knowledge, and for us that are in this space to continue to just share this knowledge with the pastors.
Thank you very much. Now, you mentioned something very important. You say it's actually a deficit of knowledge. How do you think people like you and perhaps Ihesie, how do you think we can help facilitate to bring this knowledge to light?
One is what you're doing now. What you're doing is awesome. But the thing is, how do we now get the pastors on board? So one of the things we've done, this is us, because we've been around the church space for a while. So a couple of pastors have tried our solutions, and they have bodies, right? So we have Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. There is a Christian Association of Nigeria. Some of the churches have organizations like that you can go talk to. So what we can do, I mean, you and us, is also to reach out to them and say, we understand that COVID-19 has taken a toll on the physical gathering for the church. We have this training that we want to offer you for free because we want you to. We don't want the church. I mean, there's a campaign that we are running. The church cannot stop because of COVID-19. It can't stop. Like COVID-19 can't stop the church. So what do we now need to do? We need to learn how to leverage technology. So reaching out to these bodies and talking to them. We've done that, and we've also seen a lot of bodies saying, okay, it's interesting, you come talk to us, and set up a Zoom or use your platform, set up a meeting and get them on board and just teach them these things. In 10-15 minutes, you should be able to show them how to do it. So we have to do the reaching out to them. So that we have the knowledge, they don't have the knowledge. Sometimes they don't even know that we have the knowledge, right? So there's a gap there. So we that have the knowledge should do a reach out to them and say, hey, you have this problem, I know you have this problem, we can help out. Yeah, and most of them always jump at that offer, because of course they want to go online.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd just like to encourage some of our viewers that we are live on YouTube, and so they can actually hook up. That said, earlier on you were talking about engagement, and what was actually jumping out at me was engaging different subgroups like women, men, and some churches do have men fellowship, women fellowship, youth fellowship. Now there's a special group of people. Of course, we call them millennials. The only language they understand is actually technology. However, they don't seem to gel with the way church is run. They don't like long services. They believe the preacher is preaching at them, and so they found it a little bit boring. So how do you think we can use the power of technology to, first of all, attract, engage, sustain their interest in the church? Because the truth is, the future of the church is actually the young people, which are the millennials. And if they're not engaged, it means that the church has no future, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. It's an interesting area that a lot of churches, and we sit down, have conversations. I will try to talk with the millennials and have conversations with them. So first, we need to understand the problem, and like you stated, we need to understand it properly. So the problem is that we are not really engaging them. There's loss of interest and all of that. But who is a millennial? Who is the person? What is the characteristics of this person? Understanding that is very important. We call it archetype in business.
Yeah.
What is the archetype of a millennial? So you now start looking at a millennial is somebody between this age and this age. They like excellence, even though they might not be able to afford it, but they like excellence. They don't like things that take too long. They want information like this. They don't want you to over explain things to them. It's boring. They want information, speed of light. Where is this church? I want it now. What does the Holy Spirit say about this? I want it immediately. I don't want to now go and do the history of Holy Spirit before you now give me my exact question, right? So they want things immediately. They want it fast. That's one. So they also enjoy being out there. They want to be out there. They don't want to sit back and suppress who they are. They want to express themselves. So it's important that we understand that. It's also important that we understand that they are tech. In fact, I call them tech because anything they do is tech. It's snapping picture, it's posting, it's commenting, it's laughing, and so that is who they are. So how can the church now, having understood who these people are, how can we now build systems that would also ensure that we still encourage them and mentor them in the way of the Lord? Because we will not say this is who you are, don't worry, just keep doing what you're doing. No. We're saying we understand you and we need to allow you express yourself, but we'll provide you mentorship and guidance to ensure that you do this thing according to the tenets of our belief. So what can we do? I think that if you talk with a lot of them, they will tell you that there is a pushback. Some of them actually want to commit and express themselves. But there's a pushback from the elders when they want to get involved. They say, no, this one is too much. No. So let us rush digital media. No. So that happens in a lot of ministries. So one is that we need to bring them into leadership position. Leadership position means that there are certain things that these millennials will do better than us. Social media that we're talking about, if you give it to somebody that is within maybe 15, 19, thereabout. They will handle it better than most of us because they grew up with these things. So we need to get them involved. We need to allow them to express themselves. That's one. Then two is that having understood them, how are they engaging? So what do we have in church that will say this is powered by the millennials? We have a drama team that is solely these people. We have a digital media team that is solely these people. The web solutions of the church, social media of the church, powered by the millennials. We have a place that allows them to go and do their selfie. We allow them to tweet about what is happening in church, take pictures, tweet about it. Because we want to engage online, but we are stopping them from tweeting about what is happening in church. So how do you now push your brand online? And some of your millennial members have more followers than the church. They have more followers on Twitter, and they have more people following them on Instagram than the whole church. The whole church. So, and they are not talking about your church online. They are not mentioning anything about your church because maybe they're actually not even proud of worshiping in your ministry. They are not, it's not something they are proud of. Because if I'm not proud of worshiping in your ministry, I would not say anything about your ministry. I will not use my platform to promote it. So, how do we get them to become proud of where they belong and enable them to now talk about it? So, how can I get somebody to say on Sunday, this is me in church on Sunday, and the preaching was awesome? So how do we encourage that to happen? Provide them a place for them to take those pictures. Enable them to say, hey, I mean, you can even have a program and say, okay, now we have 5 minutes social media time. Everybody, let's go online. This is the hashtag for this Sunday. This is the hashtag for this program. So in the social media 5 minutes time, do your social media with us. Bring out your phone, tag me, comment at what happened, take pictures, post it. Whoa, I mean, if you will see how they will lighten up. Really, they all bring up pictures, start snapping and start. So we need to get them and let them understand that we now know what social media is about. We now know all the things that happens there, and we want them to do it in the way of the Lord. So that's one of the things that we need to do. Get them involved, put them in leadership position, enable them to do those things that they do online, do it in church. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to, I would like to ask one very important question about driving engagement. Yes, we can drive the millennials, but there's a thought that is it really possible to disciple people effectively online? Is it possible? Is it something that can be done?
I must say that online virtual has come to stay. Like we have to accept this as a fact. Um, Education, a lot happens online. There are people that have done MBA without leaving their house. They finished their school, graduated, they are MBA holders. That is possible. Mentorship, discipleship can happen online 100%. However, it is not something that we will do without structure. It's not something that we just let it happen. You can't just disciple somebody online anyhow. So we need to have a structure for the online discipleship. This is how we need to do. So what program do we have? How do we measure when somebody moves from point A to point B? Do we have somebody that is monitoring that process? Do we have somebody that is engaging them and getting feedback from them? Yes, it can be done online, but we need to do the internal work to ensure that we effectively run it online. Yes, I say it's 100% possible.
Okay. So, so you're saying that it's actually possible to disciple people online 100%.
Yes, very 100%. Yeah, but we have to do the work that will enable us to do that online.
But let me follow up with that. I know your ministry or your organization, Church Plus, has been involved with a lot of churches driving their digital engagement and all that. Can you give us? Can you walk us through a practical example so that we can actually learn, especially our online participants who are church leaders who want to adopt probably similar experience?
Okay, so I will look at a couple of churches I've worked with and what they've done, and based on our own research too. Um, so I will look at the first timer scenario and maybe new convert scenario. So when somebody comes to church for the very first time and you take details of this person, what do you do with that information? What do you do with it? One, you can assign it to people to call them and follow them up. But how do you go back and ensure that they were called and followed up? Another thing you can do also is to put it in a system. It can be Church Plus has a system that you can put the details of the person, and it will send them emails, it will send them messages, and all of that. So that is a high level way of doing that. But if you want to do intensive follow up and mentoring and discipleship, you have to have a form of communication with them. So, for instance, I can give you something we can use. Let's say we have a program that say 2 weeks when you give your life to Christ. We meet online every 2 days and have 10 minutes conversation, right? To give you things to read. Then another 2 days, we'll have 10 minutes conversation. So you can say our plan is this. First 2 days, we call them online and talk with them. So you can have like a group meeting and just discuss. Then the third day, we'll have a conversation again. We'll give them things to read. So you can devise that plan and all of that. So each time you give them a call and you sit down, you have a conversation. So it's a conversation around, okay, how is it been? How is your Christian life? How are you following up? And you have a general conversation, football, you watch football and all of that. You discuss that. So they now know that, oh, okay, I have a family. I have a family that I'm having a conversation because most people at times they do not have friends and people that encourage them. But yeah, you're encouraging them. So you have a badge, you can have a badge A and all of that. You have somebody that mentor them, and you keep having that conversation, you keep having that conversation, you keep having that conversation. Now, what happens is that because they have somebody that follows them up every 2 days, not just with calls, but a meeting, you see them improving. And after the meeting, you give them something to read, you give them passages and things to do. Then the next one you follow up. So it's like a class. And before you know it, you see that some of them are beginning to appreciate what you're doing with them online. So, but the challenge is this: we need somebody that will be in charge of that follow-up process and be able to call them and invite them for the meeting and have all of that conversations. And so that's one of the things we can do. The other thing we can also look at is this, and we do a lot in the business world. When you give us data, right? There's what they call email drip. Email drip is a sequence of emails, a sequence of SMSs that can go out. You can say when somebody comes in, this is a sequence of SMS that will go out or a sequence of emails that will go out. So first day you send him this SMS, second day or third day you send him this, fourth day you send him this, fifth day you ask him, if he wants to talk with somebody, that you'll be able to call, or you should just call this number if you want to talk to somebody. So you can automate that process. So that one you don't actually need somebody to follow up. So if he wants to talk to somebody, he can just call the number, then you now open that conversation and that engagement. So that will save a lot of human interaction to it. So you can do that. But what we recommend is having that virtual meetup. so that you have somebody that you can always ask questions. That one-on-one conversation is more effective than doing SMS and email. But if you cannot do one-on-one online follow-up, you can always leverage SMS, email, and phone calls to do that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. This is going to be my last. My last question before I invite that participant to ask their question.
Yeah.
We've observed that a couple of churches who have about, say, membership strength of about, say, 5,000, 7,000. But when it comes to, say, YouTube, you have just about 10%. Maybe you have 7,000, just about 700. How can we increase online participation? How do we drive that, sir?
Okay, so online participation, I think it's something that we studied as well, and we figured out that most churches missed it somewhere. We missed it before COVID-19. In that a lot of churches were not actually pushing for online participation, so they were okay with the in-person physical meetings, and they were just putting up the online material because somebody recommended that they put online materials. But the churches that are doing extremely well now are churches that encouraged the online participation pre-COVID-19. So they encourage people, if you can't come to church, no problem, watch it online. If you're not in that physical location that they are in, watch online. And they appreciated their online audience. So they had an online program. You see them talk about their online audience at the end of service, and when they are preaching, they are telling you, if you're here watching us or you're watching us online, they were always referencing the online audience. Those churches are doing way better now because people do. It was a kind of a change of behavior for them to say, okay, well, we can do online. But yeah, so some missed that one. So let's do a look at people that missed it. What can they do now? One of the problems when we're analyzing the issue is that so many members of the church are not even aware when their churches go online. So they are not aware that service has started. Nothing is prompting them to say, "Oh, we're live now. Please, come to service." So I might be working, and I forget. Wow, service has started. Let me check, and I start looking for the place. Where do I go now? So one is that notification. Two is discovery. Some churches actually difficult, to discover them. So if I go to YouTube now, I will not see your live stream immediately. Of course, YouTube will not show me your live stream immediately. YouTube will show me homepage. I have to type your church, right? And I have to now see it. So discovery is also a challenge. How do we get people to know when we go live? How do we make it easy for them to discover us online? Right? That where churches need to spend time and resources doing. So one of the ways you can do it is this. Encourage people to like your page. Encourage them. That's major one. Encourage them to like your page. Encourage them to subscribe to your YouTube channel if you're using YouTube. Because when you subscribe and click on the bell, that's what they call it, the YouTube bell. Anytime they go live, YouTube will do that for you. YouTube will remind people that are subscribed to you. So if they like you on Facebook most times will alert them that you've gone live. So it will save you a lot of money, because if you don't do that, you have to be sending them SMS and send them emails that you've gone live. So the first, the initial set of messages you send to your members that you've gone live, encourage them to like your page, subscribe to your page, then click on that bell, so that these platforms will do the work for you. You don't have to spend so much money on that. So that is one. Then two, you also need to encourage them to share. People that are watching it, encourage them to share these videos, encourage them to tell their friends about it, because it's the reason why it's called social network. It's a connection of people. So if my church is live and they are preaching, and I say, okay, let me share this thing. For instance, I have like 1,000 friends, or personally, I have about 4,000 friends so okay, I share it with them. Maybe 1% will join in. Imagine if the 900 that are watching share that video, and they have 1% of their own network join. Before you know it, your viewership will increase. That's one. Then two is that people are also wary of their data. They're like, oh, I just have 20 MB. How do I, consume all of that? So what we've seen churches do is that they've kept their service very brief. So it's no longer the 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hour service. No, services are very brief now. Praise and worship, preaching, end of service. So they can have multiple services, right? But I know that this one now, I'm doing 20, 25 minutes, praise and worship, maybe praise and worship 5 minutes, preaching 10, 15 minutes, and service is done. So, if I know that it's just 15, 20 minutes that I need to watch, even if I have small data, that's okay. It can do it. So we do not over drag service and people just get distracted and go away. If I know that online services are brief, it kind of encourage and improve viewership. That's also very, very, very important. Then if you have contact locally, that we have SMS numbers and all of that we do, please constantly engage them via the traditional platform that we know, the SMS email platform. Engage them, tell them about the service, tell them about what you're going to be preaching. So for instance, if we're sharing about holiness, this, or we're sharing about family, so it's good to also inform them to say, this Sunday by so and so time we'll be sharing about holiness and sharing about this. So some of them, okay, they already know that, okay, there's something interesting will be happening that time. So they kind of, and it's important to put a link on the email or SMS you're sending. So that link, if I click on that link that time, it takes me straight to where I can watch that. And again, we also need to understand that this thing takes time. If you do not start it on time, it's going to take some time for you to begin to see that engagement. But consistency and applying some of these things I've mentioned will help you increase your viewership. Then the last one, which I've seen churches do, and if you have some resources to do it, you can actually promote your online stream. You can pay Facebook, you can pay YouTube, or you can pay Twitter, and they promote. You can run an ad campaign on your live stream, and they'll just boost it. And you know how it works. So when they boost it, some people that are interested will now start following you from there, and you might see more people watching your events.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd just like to invite our online participants. Please, if you have any question, I'd like to see you wave your hand while we are with that. Let me just ask. Well, this is going to be like my last question.
Okay.
There's one question. Oh, there's one question. Where's the question? Oh, my chat. All right. Okay. Okay. There's a question here. Are there accessible tools? Are there accessible tools online to effectively collect offerings and tithes, apart from just transferring both to a designated account?
So, is it apart from our own? Are there others?
Apart from what they're saying, are there accessible digital tools that one can use to collect offering and tithe, apart from just transferring to a bank account?
Oh, okay, yeah, yes. There are lots of them. The first one is the one that we offer. Of course, I have to talk about our own. So churchplus.co offers you an online collection platform, and it's free of charge. You can just sign up and set up your account, and we enable you to do that. So that's one. Then Paystack offers you an easy to use collection plugin that you can just put on your website. I think Flutterwave too, they have one solution called Wave. Wave offers you an easy to use tool that you can use to collect offering as well. But our own, we also work with churches to try and integrate the payment within your Facebook page as well. So if somebody goes to your Facebook page, it can even give you offering right within the Facebook page. So we have that in place. And some banks do have USSD plugins for churches. So if you sign up, they can give you a USSD code that members of your church can dial and give offering to the church. So there are lots of them out there that you can use.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. But let me now ask you. That would be my. Okay, there's another question here. You said cost is not a problem of church leaders in engaging online participation. Rather, it's a lack of knowledge. Do you think the church can actually afford the cost of customer relationship management system or building a CRM system, for example?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, like what we do, so he's asking if they can afford Church Plus. That's invariably what that question means, because Church Plus is a CRM for churches. And the thing is this, that yes, they can afford it. We have a free plan. So most of these things, they have free tools that churches can use. Really, it's just the knowledge, like I said. So Church Plus offers a free plan that they can use. If your church is less than 100, you can sign up and use the software totally for free. You won't pay anything for it. And if you are more than 100, the cost is about 3,000. If you're more than 100 to 200, about 3,000 a month. It's highly affordable. But if you're less than that, it's free of charge. You can use it. So there's some other ones too that if you're less than 100, you can sign up for free and use. So it's that information, that knowledge, that understanding that you can leverage all of these things. So but when you talk with some of the pastors, it's expensive. So no, so it's not expensive. Understand the benefits, and we can offer you free versions for you to use.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to ask you a final question. How do you see the future of the church? Because I see a whole lot of pastors invest in building, and 50,000, 70,000, 100,000, 200,000 capacity. Yeah. But the way things are going, it might mean that they may not fill those halls because the future is we're seeing the trend is already there. That people would rather sit down at the comfort of their home, the sitting room, and actually watch the television and watch services live. So with this background, what do you see in the future, or the future of the church has? But in respect to technology adoption.
Yeah, so I have to be a bit controversial here. In as much as we build technology solutions for churches, I also follow a bit of trend and human psychology. What we cannot take away from human beings is the social aspect of the human nature. Right? We want to go out there, we want to interact with others, we want to look at others, we want to see what they are wearing, we want to see our friends, we want to see pastor. It's more like the nature of man to want to socialize. Right? COVID-19 cannot take that away from us. So there is still a place for the gathering of the brethren in the church. Right.
Okay.
This COVID-19 that we're saying, this is not the first pandemic that we've seen in the world. I mean, there's one for the 1918.
Yeah, 1918. Yeah, the flu caught about 15 million people.
So it happened and churches were closed down, but after a while, we got to the point where churches came back. So yes, that part there, we have to understand that. However, there are people that would rather just now stay at home and watch these things. So it's like many people will go to church, we will have an increasing number of people that would rather just stay online and watch it, right? There are people that maybe work. Ordinarily, they would have made extra efforts to go to church. Ordinarily, they would have made extra effort to say, I have to quickly finish, and get to church. But now they say, well, it's okay, I can just watch it online, right? So for the church now, it's no longer a pure offline physical meeting church you'll be running. As you're having the strategies for your physical meeting church, you should also have a strategy for your online church. The two of them will have to go together. That's the future I see.
Thank you very much. We're so grateful for having you, Mr. Ihesie. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing knowledge. I will look forward to even partnering with you. That's EasyDAO, vis-a-vis CW Communications and Church Plus. We look forward to actually working with you to push the franchise of the kingdom, forward. We're so grateful for your time and the knowledge you've shared with you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
We look forward. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, for our participant, you can now go on live and actually subscribe to the EasyDAO platform. Please, you can just go online and subscribe. We thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you next week.